Hey, what's up, everyone? You know,
Hello,
your
everybody.
favorite two hosts on the internet for a live show ever.
I think that's the first time we didn't argue about that since we started.
All right, welcome back to Stay Fishy Friday. We are your hosts. I'm Josh. That's Big Rich. You probably all know, but we're gonna make this one a fun one today. We've got a bunch to talk about. I'm sure you guys will have a bunch of questions as well, but. Nice shirt. I'm just wearing a beater. It's not really a shirt. It's just, a working shirt. So before we get started, what's the drinking word?
Nurse. We're going to be talking about the nurses tonight. So you see me drink, you must consume. Or if you hear the word nurse, you must consume.
Okay. Well, before he gets started with the mom update, we'll go ahead and talk about this week at the rescue. It has been a little bit of chaos around
crazy.
Here. He's finally allowed out the house again, so he's been going and getting a bunch of stuff done that he needs to get done.
Oh my God. We're talking groceries. Supplies I didn't even know I needed. I forgot that we haven't been buying, and we've been getting by on just the bare necessities. And then I get home and I realize there's a bunch more supplies.
You just keep talking. I'll fix it. Is that better?
No, not that one.
Just try it.
No, that's two. You'll have echoes. Please shut off one of the mics.
There you go. That one's off.
Turn the other one full all the way up.
It is. Is the sound better, guys? Let us know. Keep on talking.
Okay. So then we get home, then we realize there's a whole bunch more things that we've forgotten about because I haven't gone supply shopping forever. I've been sending people and getting by with the bare necessities, and it's been crazy. So, we go back to the store. We get back home, third trip. I come home and I had to go back to the store one last time. We forgot the mouthwash for Tracy's machine because she's got the suction machine, and if you suction out her trach, that's actually sputum or phlegm, and it sits in this machine bowl, and then every time you turn it on, air passes through it and it pumps it out and it starts stinking. You put mouthwash in this thing before when you refill it, you empty it, you put mouthwash in there and then you use it, and it's always minty fresh. It never smells. So we have to have the mouthwash for Tracy for that purpose alone, other than to dip her little sponges in and go around her mouth and stuff. So yeah, I've been getting out and I've been running around crazy nonstop to all these different stores, and I thought it was glorious getting out of the house. Now I remember I don't like driving anymore. I don't like going out doing these chores. But I'm pretty well caught up. Got the house back up to normal, and got the side of the house. I cleaned off that entire yellow trailer. We took everything to the burn pile. We got all the garbage off there. And then here, Reaper comes back with this rescue he went on yesterday, and they unloaded everything off the trailer and put it onto the yellow trailer that I just cleared off. I was going to move it over to Josh's house. Now I'm waiting for Reaper to come back over because he's going to be part of unloading this trailer again. So if you're there, Reaper, you got to come over sometime, or no videos for you.
Ross says, how many days since the fish room floor got wet? Well, that's a trick question because there isn't a single day the floor doesn't get wet, whether it's a fish splashing. If you talk about flooding.
Yeah, we had a flood yesterday from all that rain. It came in under the thresholds of both doors. And Jerry was out there with the vacuum, and he's vacuuming up, and all of a sudden more water started pouring in. Because it really started pouring down.
Yeah, it did.
He's like, I was trying to keep it dry, and all of a sudden it just flooded in from under the door. I'm laughing at him.
And we even planned ahead of it. So on the outside of the door, there's about 4 feet of pavement that slopes down, and then the whole incline of the driveway. But the trench drain was too small.
The drain's here, and then it goes back uphill to the fish room.
But the trench drain was too small. He should have put in a 3-4 inch trench drain. He put in a 2-inch, so that gets really overtaken real quick with all the water
when it rains really hard
off of the driveway and off of the roof, off of that awning. It all goes on there. It overtakes the 2-inch outlet. Then it floods up and it gets into the fish.
Well, you know what the problem is? It's actually 3-inch pipe down the side of the uh, fish room, and then where the two gutters go into it is fine. It turns the corner and connects onto the main drain, and it does a 3-inch to a 2-inch. It does a 3-inch turn, and then it does a 3-inch to a 2-inch right there, where it's a drilled hole into the 3-inch pipe. The 2-inch sits inside of it, and then the dirt got filled back up.
I cut that off.
Oh, you did?
That was
Do
where
you have
we.
an actual Y on there now?
That was where we had
The problem,
the
yeah.
leak. We dug that all up, and me and Eric fixed that. It's now 4 to 4. The pipe's not sticking down in.
So it's a 3-inch going into a Y to a 4?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was the bottleneck area.
So the issue now is the bottom side of that trench drain that's
Is
in
2
the
inch,
cement
yeah.
is 2 inch. Yes.
And it goes under the cement over to the 3-inch down the side.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if it just wouldn't rain that hard, it would be better. It rained. You know, I put out a little, I don't know if you saw the short on Netflix.
You put it out on your personal Facebook page, not OFR.
It didn't go on OFR?
No.
Oh, man. Okay, so anyways, I put that out, and it was, lightly raining, and then it started getting heavy raining, and it was great. And then as soon as I went in, the whole ceilings or everything are making all this noise. We're like, wow! And I go running back out to take video of it. And by the time I made it all the way to the back of the house, past the pool room and out onto the back deck, it slowed down. So for that, I'd say 45 seconds, it was super pouring down rain. And that's where Jerry was trying to vacuum up. It just came in too fast all at once.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to move on to the Tracy update?
Yeah, go for it.
Now I'm ready. Guys, you will be so happy to hear she is doing so well. She is doing so great. The nurses, the one nurse takes her out of her bed twice a day and puts her in front of the TV. She holds her head up, After a couple hours, she'll start, leaning a little bit or something. But she just sits there and watches TV. Today she watched Baywatch. And she just sits there and stares at it and holds her own head up.
Wait, is it the old one or the new one with, Dwayne
The
The
old
Rock
one.
Johnson?
No, that's a movie, isn't it? Yeah, that's a movie.
Yeah.
This is Baywatch the series.
See, I was just curious if she was getting the eye candy or not.
No, your mother never had eyes for nobody but me, son. That's the way I want to remember things. But anyway, she sits there and watches it, and she's doing so good. And with them, see, I was doing the bare minimal because I was watching her 24 hours a day. So I'm getting 15-minute, sleeps here, 20-minute sleeps there, and never no, REM sleep. And so I'm running on as low, as empty as I can be at all times. And, she's getting taken care of. And I'm thinking I'm doing a terrible job taking care of her because, I'm changing her, once after the breakfast meal, once after the lunch meal, once after the dinner meal, and then once before she goes to bed. I had it down to four times a day. These nurses are changing her all the time. And I tell you what, it's made a difference. The redness between her legs have cleared up. She's just so, I don't know. Nobody ever falls asleep and forgets about her for a couple of minutes, It never happens. These nurses are so attentive and so great. I thought the last two nurses were really good. I tell you what, these nurses blow them away. These two nurses, Bonnie and Mary, are just amazing. They just care so much. I love it. They're always, I'm Tracy. I've not yelled at her, but I've told her, sit down, relax, watch a movie. You don't have to stand up next to her bed the whole day, And not to mention the amount of paperwork this company makes her does, or do. It's crazy. These nurses are swamped with paperwork. So it's a job for them. Their job is probably 10 times harder than my job of watching Tracy. And they're doing it. And they're not complaining. I complain the whole time. But Tracy, she's so much more, I don't know, just attentive, and she looks comfortable, and she's always dry and always, I'm so happy. Not to mention I get to sleep from 8:30 because by the time the nurses come in at 8 in the morning, I go ahead and I change her and I get her food ready because 8 o'clock in the morning was her normal morning. That's where we did everything. You know, you do the trach cleaning, you do the new split pads here and her Mickey button. You put the new Band-Aids on if she had any sores or anything like that. She had the one wound on the side where the food thing popped open from her coffin and it came out the injection port or the medicine port, and stomach acids burned her on her side. So we've got a Band-Aid on that, and it's almost cleared up. But we keep it, you know, crimped at all times now. So you know, that's equipment failure. That's there's nothing you can do about it. It just happened. But now, you know, they're just so much more attentive than I was. I love it. I love seeing Tracy being taken care of.
Blow your friend
You
Joey
can go
up?
ahead and blow him. Get him away from me. I had Skylar blow him up last time. You know where the button is, don't you?
She probably really enjoyed it.
Oh, stop it. You know where the air button is on that, right?
Yeah, it's his butthole.
His butthole. So, anyways, yeah. So she's getting up and around more. She's doing more. She's being more attentive, and she's even sleeping more at night now, better than she was. So, I mean, everything's just better. And not to mention, I get to sleep from 8:30. That's what I was getting to before. Nurses come in at 8 o'clock. Well, I have her changed and I have her breakfast ready, and she's, you know, eating her breakfast. So now the nurse can come in and get situated, organized, get their papers out, get their computer set up, do everything that they need to do. They don't have to instantly start taking care of Tracy. So I do the change of her diaper and get her breakfast ready, and, you know, put her medication in there. And that way, when the nurse gets here, she gets set up, and then Tracy's done eating. They can start on the whole morning process of doing everything, and they're not being rushed by Tracy had to eat by that time, you know. So this works out better for everybody, and I can go in at 8:30. I fall asleep, and I sleep until 12:30 every day, unless people call me. I get so many calls. It's just so, and you know, with that much, that's like 4 straight hours of REM sleep. You know, it's great. Along with I still get naps all night long with Tracy, but that 4 hours straight of REM sleep is really making a difference. It's just awesome. You know, I don't know. I'm getting way more done during the day. You know, and getting things done that I hadn't wanted to before, and just didn't feel. You know, I woke up, you know, for the day, and I'm not awake. I'm half with it. I'm half out of it. You know. And now I'm awake, ready to go. Let's go do this. And it's everything's better. We've got 36 hours left. They're trying to find somebody for Friday and Saturday nights. That way I can go back to doing these fish conventions and disappearing for, you know, Friday until Sunday during the day. And if I did that, you would be the backup. In case something happened to a nurse, you would be the backup. So
Depends on the location. If we're talking about, you know, Vegas or something like that, I'm going.
Well, there's no money left in the OFR account, so.
No, we're talking the fish conventions. You know, they pay your flight.
No. They pay
board.
just the hotel room.
That depends how big you are.
Right, we're not that big. They have
You were
paid.
thinking too small.
They have paid my hotel room every time I went, and that's it. Now, Aquashella offered to pay our flight there and hotel room this next year coming up from when I was doing it, and then they broke up. So now there's, you know, one side's running this one side's running that one, and nobody's running. They cut out Chicago.
You know what I don't get is, you know, all these conventions, they're like, hey, we want you, a large creator, to come in and help us do our show.
Bring in people.
Okay, I can understand, you know, paying their hotel, paying their flight. You're paying for them to get there. But, like, I don't understand the ones that are like, hey, you pay your own hotel, you pay your own flight, you get here.
Plus,
you
when
be a
you
part
get
of our
here,
show.
we want you to do this talk at 10,
Yeah.
this talk at noon. We want you to do this talk at 2, this talk at 4, you know. And
Like,
when we went there together, we were supposed to go, they had us scheduled apart from each other.
Yeah.
You know, you did one in 1 hour, I did one the next hour, then you did one the other 2 hours, you know, and then it was back and forth. I go there, I hang out, we're a team, you know, and I'd like to hang out together.
like if I'm disappearing for 3 to 5 days. I'm not going to spend my own money to go to a fish convention
and work for you.
I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm going to go to Aruba. I'm going to go have some fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, when you go to see predatory fins, you don't go there to see just Rod or just Kevin at a convention. You go to see their dynamic together. That's their video channel, is them together.
Right.
You know? There's some people on here that say Rich overtalks Josh. Josh needs to stand up for himself. Other people are like, you know, he needs to sit down and listen to Dad. You know, so it's our interaction between each other that people come to see, you know. I'm sure there's a couple of young girls that, you know, think you're something. And there's some, you know, elderly that think you're cute. But other than that, the rest are mine. Everyone comes to see me, not you. So, but yeah, I don't understand that either. But it is what it is. I will be going back to the shows if we can get that kind of nursing.
No, like I went to, you know, Greg's event, you know.
Yeah, which is a great event. I love going there.
He was like the perfect gentleman.
Did he offer you one of his rooms?
No, he got us all hotels at the Hilton.
Oh, whenever I went there, Greg has like 2 hidden rooms in his building, and like one's a locker room. You walk into janitor's closet, and you go to a certain janitor thing. You open up and you push, and the whole back wall goes out, and you can walk through the closet and into this nice bedroom, the nice shower, and all that. And that's where he always let me and Tracy stay, and I love that, you know.
The hotel was literally 2 minutes away from our land.
He always takes care of his people.
He paid for the hotel.
His employees, everything.
He paid for, you know, all the food all weekend and the event. Basically,
he just had to drive there.
So basically, his thinking on it was, we're going to get all of these creators together, no matter if they're from Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We're going to have round tables. We're going to get everyone talking to everyone. We're going to try and figure out the best way for everyone to grow.
Right.
And I learned a ton. A bunch of people else learned a ton from everyone else. See, we're just all talking.
This is where he comes home and he's like, Dad, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And you're going to start doing this. And you're going to stop doing that. And I'm like, wait a minute, son. Hold up. I started this. You ain't going to tell me. Then he had to slow his roll and tell me, well, this is what I learned from this person, and then this person, and this person said that. I'm like,
basically,
that
I got
makes
my
sense.
way.
He got his way. He had to explain it to me first.
Will Star, what's up, dude?
Yeah, Will Star, how you doing, buddy?
So he
was
actually
supposed to come over.
He actually watched Diesel while I was in Chicago.
Oh yeah, thank you, Will Star. He was going to drop him off here, and then he's like, no, I'll drop the cat off there, and you know, Will Star will watch Diesel.
Ended up taking the cat and dropped Diesel off at Will Star's.
I come out here, I'm like, where's the cat? He's like, we took it with us. What?
That damn cat has some screws loose. Let me tell you.
I think every animal does.
He was the perfect travel companion on that road trip. Either he's up here cuddling on my lap, down by with my feet. He uses the potty in his litter box. He was great. I didn't even notice him. You know, I fed him, I watered him. He was cute. But now we're home. This thing, oh my goodness! As soon as we go to bed, he's. He's fighting with the other cats, you know, the big cats. Like, you know what? You're small. Screw you.
Well, they're a little bit more lazy. They sit in their spot and they want to be left alone.
The mom actually.
No, I'm talking the little white one.
Yeah, I know.
Will probably come up and start smacking them and something, wanting to play.
But what happened was the mom, who's, you know, the mom of Boomer, who's 7 years old now. She caught up on the hormones of the baby kitten. She started producing milk, and now the kitten is now breastfeeding from the mom. And she adopted him.
Wait, hold up. Your cat took over role as a mother to this new cat?
Yeah, she started producing milk and everything.
So the thing was on food and eating, and now it's back on breast?
Yep.
What?
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It happened. Every day I walk in there, Luna's just in the sunroom. She's sprawled out. Alfredo's just up there. He's, suckling, having a good time.
Eating the sauce.
I'm just like, damn, dude. But, not now it's like Luna's a little bit protective over him, and now it's him and Boomer that get into a fight at nighttime. Yeah. Crazy.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I never thought that was possible. That's like, some random child coming into your home and then your wife starts producing breast milk.
Wow, let's see, that went off sideways there. All right, so let's get back to the Tracy thing. With the nurse being here 7 days a week, it is amazing. I just got to be, taking care of Tracy at nighttime, which is the easiest. At nighttime, you don't have to, feed her. You don't have to put her up in the chair. You don't have to, do that. You just reposition her every 2 hours. You just suction her out if needed, and that's pretty much it. If she, you always got to check the shorts, because if number 2 comes about, that's as needed. You can't predict that, so you always got to check for that. And if that happens, then you just change it. Other than that, it's really easy to take care of Tracy at night. So I'm tired by the time the nurses get here. I go to bed, and that's it. And I wake up 12:30, and I'm good for the day. I'm ready to work. And I go outside, and I see that my trailer is back full again with tanks, and I'm screaming at Reaper.
That tank will never leave this yard.
The tank?
Or the trailer.
The trailer? Yeah. I already called you and told you, get somebody over here, you can haul it and take it to your house. It's ready to go. And then Reaper filled it back up with
it's okay.
garbage.
How about I just take the boat? The trailers are already parked there. I'll just take the boat.
You can take the boat and the trailer.
Do you see the shit I gotta put up with?
You've got woods next to your house with a parking spot in the middle of the woods.
That I just grew pretty little baby grass in.
That'll grow all around the boat and the trailer.
And my neighbors are so thankful. They're like, oh my god, your yard looks so good. It's way better than the last people who lived there.
And then you're going to put a trailer in there, construction trailer, and a boat next to it. Oh, wow. That's all right.
Bring the Bobcat over, start leveling out my yard, rip up the driveway.
You can. You can use the Bobcat anytime you want.
Yes, I know. But
that's why I got the Bobcat and the trailer for our personal use. Yep. But anyways, back to the thing with Reaper going on all these little trips and taking all these people with them and paying for everybody's lunch and all this stuff. It's ran our OFR account down to, there's like $200 left in it, and I got a bill for the credit card of $1,800. So I was like, wow, we really have no money in there. So it's going to be coming out of my pocket to do any rescue from this point on. And he's got this big trip lined up to go to New York. That's going to be like $1,500 in gas and tolls, So yeah, it's going to be back out of my pocket again.
I mean, at that point, it's like, you gave him the stuff so he can do the videos, and like you're paying for all the gas and the tolls and everything, and he's just making his profit off the videos. Like, right. Something has to.
But the videos have gone down. Yeah. We handed him that channel with 10,000 people, and it was making, I think, $800-900 a month, and it went up to $1,100 one time. Now it's down to about $500 a month. It's just kept on going down, 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 down. Same as our channel, it's gone down. So I mean, I can't keep supporting both channels. I just can't. So something's going to have to change there soon on something, somehow, some way. But it's definitely going to be coming out of my pocket real soon.
I mean, and both of us have our own lives outside of the rescue, outside of this channel. He's got his properties, his problems. I've got my properties, my problems. He just got
How many
call.
Do you own now?
3.
Your house and then 2 others?
And a third one.
The third one you're closing on tomorrow.
On the 1st.
On the 1st, okay. So you're going to have 4 properties.
Yeah.
And then you got your daytime job all day long.
Yes.
And then you've got a new kid with wife that's going to be here. She's here, but I mean, you're going to be going and getting married soon.
Yes.
So you got your whole family life.
Yes, and
in this situation, each and every one of those lifestyles are getting hurt by the others.
I don't have an endowment, so.
Stop with the endowment. I'm saying your family life is getting hurt because of your fish life. Your fish life's getting hurt because of your rental property life. Your rental property life's getting hurt because you have a real job life.
Everything is hurting each other.
Right.
I'm just here,
doing what you can.
Slaving
but
away.
See, this is the best thing. People say, "Oh, party and have fun when you're young." That's so wrong. Work your butt off, like I did. You remember going to work with me all the time when you were a kid? That's all I did was work, and I'd come home and I'd work on other people's cars, and then I was a bouncer at night, and then I played out 3 nights a week, in the band and making money. I made money every which way I can. While you're young, do that. Bust your butt. That way, when you're older, you can sit back and relax a little bit. There's no reason to be at this age trying to still hustle and do everything you can. This is my nurse leaving. There you go. Thank you, Bonnie. You too.
You too.
All right, so now we got to listen for Tracy. There won't be a nurse in there. Just let you know. Let me see what else. So yeah, hustle and get these things done and make money from every which direction you can. Have an online thing going to where you're making residual money. Have your properties, have your job. Have everything all at once. Do it while you're young and you can do it, because I'm telling you, when you're my age, it hurts to get out of bed. It hurts to stop walking and then sit for a minute and then get back up and start working again. You want to just stay working until it's done. And then I want to go in my bedroom, lay on my bed where I have my computer watching Tracy. I have my computer to get on the internet with. I have a 7-inch TV for, my internet, Netflix, YouTube, all that, HBO Max, all that kind of stuff. And then I have my 7-inch TV with all my cameras all around the house. And that's my station, because when I'm off of my back no longer hurts. It's like it's not even a problem. As long as I'm not standing on my back don't hurt. So I love that bedroom. That's my station, I handle everything. I pay all my bills. I handle the phones. I do everything from that laying on my belly on the bed. That's where I'm at mostly at nighttime. And then, I have to get up, take care of Tracy, and do this stuff. But, it hurts to get up.
Guess who climbed the cat tower? My child.
Laura climbed the cat tower?
She's climbing everything now.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. She could fall from that?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, babies bounce, but... Wow.
She is becoming a little daredevil, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's because she hasn't fallen enough to know that this is not what you should be doing.
There was, we probably watched this girl go down. We have, the step from our kitchen out into the breezeway. It's like a 6-inch step.
Yeah.
We watched her go down that thing probably 50 times. And the one time we're not there with our hands there, she falls. Bam. Bruise on her forehead.
Oh, no.
We go to Chicago.
It turned into a...
Big old bruise on her forehead. But it's just like, you think that they'll be okay. She's starting to climb up on the couch now. Like, she's putting her leg up. Like, she's strong enough. She's walking.
Oh, she can get all around everywhere. So she's going to try and get up on things now.
So she's going to start, climbing on everything.
Here's the thing. She's going to learn.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. That's how you learned. It's how I learned. It's how everybody learned,
But, it might be scary at first, but also it's kind of exciting. Like, she's growing. She's learning. That's awesome.
Right. All right, here's the comments. Hey, Jens Carlson says, kids, leave that mold alone, in the tune of, Pink Floyd.
Crazy Sigla says, Josh, what would happen if you had a catastrophic failure in the pool pond? A severe crack that couldn't be fixed immediately. What would you do with the monster fish? So what I would do, if I knew that was happening, I would basically...
The rest of the house.
Go in there. I would take the fish out. I would place them in the tanks that we have around the rescue. They would basically be overstocked, but they would be alive.
We also have another kiddie pool We have the sump that's 7 foot by 14, and I have
Yeah.
another one of those 7 by 14 I can
Yeah.
set up on the back deck at any time in case of emergencies.
We always have backup plans.
We have backups.
But that pool is built like a freaking shit brick house. It's not going anywhere. So I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that anytime soon. I just have to fix the problem with the back overflow, and we're good. Oh, the hiccups.
Why do you got the hiccups?
No idea. Oh, that was bad. That hurt.
Okay, guys, we do have monetization on this channel now. And then here's the deal. We did everything we could to get the live stream off of the main channel. We went through a couple weeks with no monetization because you got to get so many hours before you're okayed for monetization. So now we made monetization. Now Josh wants to take...
Wait. Sorry.
What?
All right, so, we took the live streams off of the main channel because I looked at the analytics, and every single live stream I seen a drop in, viewer count, the
It didn't look good for the algorithm.
Attention, the subscriber count. So
behind the curtain.
basically, I'm like, let's take them off of the main channel. Let's put it on, this other channel, which is great. But now what I want to do every other week, because every week is kind of a long shot. But if we do every other week, we have a guest that is on Ohio Fish Rescue, Stay Fishy Friday, like
Well, that's
DIY
better.
Joey, Chris Biggs. We have, Roz. We might have Greg Woodstock.
Greg Woodstock.
We might have Kennan. We might have Raw Fishing. But we can do every other week, headhunt, get these people on the stream, and bring a productive stream to the channel. But those 2 streams a month, I want on the main channel. The rest of the streams I want on this channel.
And it's just going to confuse too many people because right now we've only got 1,200 people on this channel. I have 167,000. And everyone keeps asking me what happened to the live streams. Like, they haven't heard that it's moved to another channel. I post it all the time. Just today I made an event on Facebook. This is what the event is. It's the live stream. Make sure you hit, what do you call that? Where you join the live stream. Subscribe and the notification bell because it's a different channel on YouTube than our normal channel.
Well,
And then I put on the community tab of YouTube, it goes out to all 167,000 that this is another channel, for our live streams, blah, 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 hit the, and I did all that. And then I put 2 shortcuts, one on Ohio Fish Rescue Forum and one on the page. I can't do much more than that trying to get people over to this channel. And what I say is either don't have no live streams over there, have them here, or put the live streams back there, and I'll use this channel for a trial and error way of making money on just putting up a camera in front of a fish tank and letting it run. And I don't know, you can't do that with ads though, because then it's like if somebody's got it set on their TV as a background, they can't really, go run back over there and hit, skip ad. So the ads are coming in all the time. So you can't really monetize it that way. I don't know how these other channels make money putting up a 12-hour video, and it's got 1.8 million views, and their channel shows they're making 10 times more money than us. But I don't know how they're making money because they're not putting no ads on the videos. So I got to figure that out. But, if you're going to put the live stream back, I'd just take the live stream back, and I would turn this channel into 24/7 live streams. It's only making $20 a month now, so it ain't gonna hurt me if I make no money from this.
So here's my thought on that. Okay, so if we bring the live streams back to the main channel, if we make them great live streams, I have no problem with that. But I think every week having an exhilarating, the next best thing live stream is too much.
That's okay. They're asking if moving the live stream over to here, did it help our main channel? No. We were making anywhere from 300 to 500.
It did not help nor
hurt.
Yeah.
It did hurt because that 300 to 500 we were making on the live streams, we're no longer making. On this channel, it wasn't monetized for the first 3 live streams or 2 live streams or something like that. And now it's monetized, and I don't see a bunch of people putting in, super chats. So it did. It cut us out of $300 to $500 a week out of that revenue. And you know the bank account shows it. The bank account's down to zero on the OFR bank account. So you know it did hurt us. It did not hurt the channel. It did not grow the channel any better. So I'm all for putting the live streams back, and I'll just keep using this channel and build it up as a third channel. We've got OFR, we got OFR behind the scenes, and we'll have this one like an ASMR channel. We'll just put up live streams of a different tank every day or something.
So
you know,
what I would say to that front, if we bring it back to the main channel, if we have guests twice a month, then that live stream there is geared towards that guest. You have questions for them. The people are asking. We've
Right.
got different things there. I would bring it to an hour and 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes, you do the Tracy update, the introduction.
I don't know. Okay.
And then the next hour you have for your guest.
Okay.
Because if you try and bring a guest on, you expect them to stay for 2-3 hours, it's not going to happen. If you ask them for a half hour, sure. An hour, yeah, it's a bit much, but they'll do it. So if you expect an hour, if you do 15 minutes before.
Let the guests go and then finish out, because the live streams are 2 hours. We could finish out the live stream talking about, the guest and, what did you think of this? We thought I liked his idea on this. The idea on that I don't know about, but this idea was great.
It's possible, but I think it drags it on. I think if you end it with the guests, it'll leave everyone wanting more. And if you guys disagree with me, by all means, post it in the comments. But I think if you do the mom update 15 minutes before the introductions, and then say, hey, from 6:45 to 7 p.m. we do the introductions and the Tracy update. Then at 7 p.m. flat, we bring on
DIY Joey.
Yeah. And then from 7 till 8 p.m. or 6 to 7, whatever that time slot might be, you have them on there, and then they get on. You say, hey, what's up, bro? And then you just start.
The problem is
bombarding them.
Some of our Florida friends have gotten too big for their britches. I remember Paul Caparo coming here, and he was all loving life and loving being here and this and that. You try and get a hold of him now, he's kind of.
You let me take care of that one. But if we take a vote, once a month on who would you like to see on the channel, it doesn't matter if it's a cold call. We can hit up friends who might know him. We can try and get them on the channel. It might not be that we have two
Tanner
guests
Serpa
on.
said he'd be willing to come out, this and that, and he's never made it out. So if we call him and say, would you like to be on the live stream, we can pick his brain for a couple hours, Same thing with George. He never showed up. He can be on the live stream.
Even if
Coral
we try,
Reef 12G.
twice a month for, big guests, big names, even if they're repeats,
right?
It might not be, every 2 weeks. We might not, sometimes be like, hey,
you're supposed to come up here.
They did not show up this time.
You can do live stream.
But, we could say, sorry, they didn't make it. Let's have an awesome live stream. Anyways, and then we've got our live stream we do. So it might not work out every time. People will accuse you of
setting that up. Not our people, random people. Our people are awesome.
But I think that might be the right move. It'll be the best of both worlds,
Oh, yeah, we thought of, Ashley Smith says, this will probably sound crazy, but maybe have an option to do virtual tours for like $50 donation. See, Brian Barczyk up in Michigan, he has the Reptarium. He does virtual tours. I think he charges, I think it's $400 if he does it himself. It's $150 for anybody to do the tour. I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not going to charge nowhere near as much. But I mean, there is other people already doing this. This is a good idea. If you can't make it here, that kind of stuff, you can do a chore. Look, we got our first.
And
we got
for
our
us,
first. Our first super chat.
We have the Vasquez family. $10 says Happy Fishy Friday, family, celebrating our 6th wedding anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary. That is a big one. You guys.
Well, that's 6 years of putting up with the same person in your life.
They're killing it.
They're killing it. Happy anniversary. And
But
good
first,
job.
spending Friday with the coolest podcast on YouTube.
Aw,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if when we do tours, it is the option. You can do a donation and whatnot. So our problem here at the rescue is we are not a public entity, so we can only by law do a private tour. We can offer a private tour for a donation. But that limits the amount of people. We can't have 50 people show up and say, "Hey, I want one to tour." That's not possible. But if we schedule, 4 people here, 4 people there, that's considered a private tour. And if they give a donation to the rescue, sure, that's completely legal and fine. And that's what we do now. And the way that we judge it right now is basically you're paying for our time. If it's after
Right.
hours, we're paying someone to watch mom, so dad can go out there and give the tour. So that's how we have it right now. Plus we have the rehomes and the fish, and that's basically how we fund the OFR right now.
And
Besides
the rehoming of the
ad
fish is
revenue.
very, very cheap. So
Yeah.
if you want, like, let's say an arowana and it's 150 in the store, you're going to pay 30, 40 bucks. So I mean, it's worth it if you still to pay for it here, and all that does is help us cover our gas. You see, it's not being covered. So
I mean, if any logical person looks at us and thinks like, "Hey, you had 300 fish last week, and this week you have 100. What happened to them 200?" Well, people are coming in saying, "Hey, I want these fish." But there's so many times that I'm like, "What tank did you have? What kind of fish do you want to keep?" He's like, "I have a 150-gallon tank. I want that 30-inch red-tailed catfish." I'm like, "I'm sorry,
no.
I can't give you the red-tailed catfish. It's not about the money to us. We want to make sure that these catfish have a great home." But there's people who's like, "Hey, I have a 4,000-gallon pond. Hey, can you send me pictures, a video, a little paper in the video with your name and date on it?" Sure, if you prove it to me, I will gladly give you the fish. But there's
Most
lot
of the big
people,
ones go to the public aquariums, though.
But there's a lot of people on the internet that have 200-gallon tanks, and they want an Oscar or a cichlid. So that's basically our bread and butter. And so many people ask us why it's hard to get rid of a pacu, because I posted a video on TikTok, and it got like 2.5 million views by now. And it woke up, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they are coming after my neck. They're like, "Oh, you are millennial trash. You don't deserve to be here, blah, blah, blah." So on TikTok, I clap back.
Come around.
I pretty much tell them, like, "Hey, you're not the one spending thousands of dollars a month trying to save these fish from death, giving them a better life and finding them a great home."
Right.
Like, if you can't appreciate
You're sitting here
that,
complaining about it.
then get the hell off my
You
channel.
entitled little twit.
But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? My haters is the single greatest thing that has made us blow up. Like,
On
TikTok, Facebook, it all works. When the haters get involved, they start saying stupid shit. And they're like, "Oh my God, you're terrible." Like when I took that piece of driftwood and I threw it in the pond, it got 11 million views on Facebook. We grew like 80,000 subscribers. And what that helps us do is grow our mission. I mean, at the same time, yeah, it's helping ad revenue and stuff like that.
Yeah, but see, what they don't understand is, you know how many ponds people have been cannonballing into for centuries? And no fish has ever been hurt by it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's our job, our duty to educate the public. But sometimes people who know nothing about you say a comment, and you're just like, "You know what? Screw you." So I on TikTok or Facebook, I'll look if someone follows us, and if they have a follow back and a negative comment, I will teach them But like, if someone's just on there to troll, well,
Yeah, if we
I'll
can
dish
teach,
it
we
back.
definitely teach. And if you want to dish it back and create the hate, that's on you. So,
All right, we got Jackie Hudson, $10 says in honor of the Vasquez family's anniversary. Aw, Jackie, that's so cute.
aw,
We got Backyard Boats,
thank you,
$2
Jackie. Thank
says
you.
start in OnlyFans.
Oh my goodness,
I've
Skylar!
had so much fish porn at this house. It's not
Fish
even
porn?
fish doing it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, you got another one here.
Spooky Tuesday, $5 says, "What up, though? Can't wait to see you guys with Brian soon on the Let Legacy Aquarium. Keep up the good work." Hashtag
He was
Team
supposed to be here
Tracy.
Wednesday, and he was not feeling up to it, so he didn't make it.
Yeah, so it's.
But thank you, Spooky.
Yeah, of course, thanks. And it's been a long time coming. You know, Brian has set up a couple of times. He's coming up to grab, you know, 100 koi. And, you know, it's just, you know, treatments and whatnot, and what he's going through. It's just been tough on him. So I don't
He looks
blame
like
him.
a different person now.
Yeah.
His hair's short, his hair's thin,
But
he looks tired.
he's gotten, you know, positive comments back from the doctor. So I believe with his attitude, everyone supporting him, he might make it through it.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
We need more people like Brian Barczyk on this
And
planet.
when you know, when he finally decides to come here, we have a surprise for him.
Yeah, but he don't know that. What is wrong with you? Why are you saying this online?
All right, we got Crazy Cichlids. $1 says message retracted.
Well, they had a message, but they decided not to. So, but thank you for the help. I appreciate it. Every bit helps.
Suanne,
Thank you
$10
so much.
says, "Is there a way to force feed an ID? She hasn't eaten since I put her in the big tank. I just moved her back to a smaller tank, and she went belly up. She's
Oh,
still
no.
moving, but very weak."
Yeah, once they go belly up, Suanne, there's
Yeah,
really not
it's
much you can do. You can
catastrophic.
try this because when you force feed, you actually add more stress to their life.
Yes.
Okay. So what I use, how big is the iridescent? Does it say?
Or was that the one that she got from us? If it was the one she got from us, it was like 14-inch.
14-inch. You need a tube, some about the size of your thumb, and then you need a poker stick that fits inside of it. You put that tube all the way down in their mouth, all the way to their gullet, and then you take like a piece of shrimp or a piece of hot dog, something that's pretty firm, and you put in there, and you use your poker to you know, you got your husband holding the fish, you got the tube in, and it's touching the gullet. You use this poker to push all the way through, and it has to have a flat, blunt end. Can't have a pointed end. It's got to push the food up against the gullet and force it to open and go in.
It's going to hit a hard spot.
You have to push
that
through
you
it.
have to push past, and she said it's not the one she got from us.
Okay.
So it's a different one.
So now that one, you know, push past, and then you'll see the whole tube and everything. Your
it's scary.
no, you hold the tube. What's what I call the inside piece?
The
Plunger. The whole plunger, and the food will go all the way down in their gullet. And then the person holding it will feel it go into the belly. You can then pull everything out and be fine. That's stressful in itself. So if the fish is 80% gone and it's laying there, and then you stress it, you might even evoke it to die. You know. So I mean, it's a 50-50. We can't guarantee anything, but that's the best way we found. We've tried putting food in there and pushing it in, and it always bends, flops out of the way, never goes down the gullet. You have to use a clear tube, like a clear piece of. On the bigger fish, we use the under gravel filter tubes that go up, and I put a whole hot dog in there. Now, people don't like feeding hot dogs, but I'm telling you, to get food into their gullet, it's got a nice rounded end like a torpedo, and then I push it from this end, and it goes right in, as little stress as possible, and works great. You know, a chunky piece of fillet, a chunky piece of shrimp, it don't work as well, and it's too soft. Hot dogs work great. It gets in their belly, and then they start getting nutrients. So, I mean, we've had it work, you know, 60-70% of the time, and we've brought them back from that. And we've also had them to where as soon as we force fed them, within seconds they were dead because they were too stressed already, and then we add stress to them, you know. So I can't guarantee anything, but it's worth a try because everything that you're doing now is not working. So it's worth a try, in my opinion.
So that kind of reminds me of a point. Have you heard about Blake's Arapaima?
What about it?
So, he built an entire room addition, the big tank for his
Right.
Arapaima Big Bertha. She has the gas bubble disease, and
Oh
everyone
no.
was like, "Contact Josh, contact OFR."
Yeah.
I got bombarded about
But
weeks
did he
ago.
call?
About 2 weeks ago, I called Blake because someone messaged me and says, "Josh, can you please help him?" So I called Blake. He's like, "Yeah, she's been this way for about X amount of days."
Hold up. The problem with that is now if she's upside down for X amount of days,
She's not upside down.
where's she at?
She's still swimming, but she's got them bubbles on her head that are popping out.
Oh, that's different. That's different. I thought like swim bladder disease.
No, you're talking
I know.
about bloat and swim bladder.
Yeah.
I'm talking about gas bubble disease, like the
Yeah.
Arapaima bubbles
We
that
had,
we
yeah,
had, that
yeah.
we tried fixing, that we could not remedy, and you ended up dying. But I'm like, you know what? That
That's
fish
less
is
dangerous though.
that fish is about 4 feet long. I seen it. I'm like, it has gas bubble disease. So I called Blake. I'm like, your fish will die if you don't remedy it. So I told him, I'm like, first things first. I talked to him about his filtration, the waterfall. I'm like, put something in the water to stop the water from splashing and making micro bubbles, because the gas bubble disease is from oversaturation of nitrogen and oxygen in the water. Your fish can't process it.
Right.
I'm like, having her in the deeper tank would actually help. It'll help push that gas out. He's like, she spends the majority of her time in the bottom of the tank. I'm like, that's true, because it feels better.
Yeah.
And people are telling him to drain the tank and this and that. I'm like, no, cut the surface agitation. Right. And then he called his filtration guy. He says that the filter that they had, he's dealt with this before, that it goes in the filter, emulsifies, and sends all of that liquid nitrogen back up from the bottom. I didn't know his outlets were going to an under drain and through the bottom of the tank. I'm like, no, take all of your water, put it in at the surface. For one, it will help degas that water, and two, it adds oxygen to the water. So put all of your return media back to the surface. He's like, all right, I did that. And he released another video, and she's looking a bit worse. I told him from day one, I'm like, you can either do injections from a vet if you have a friend. He doesn't really have no one for that. So I seen it getting worse. I called him. I'm like, look, you need to do something a little bit more dramatic. Like, she's heading down the wrong path. Right. She's starting to get the lateral line erosion, which means she's heading to death. Within the next month, she's probably dead. So I'm like, for one, if you can't get a vet on staff, take her out of that tank, put her in a separate container. I'm like, vent each bubble, stick a needle in that bubble, release the air.
Pressure.
And I'm like, there's probably 20 on her head that you can vent all of them. And then stick her in the water with kanamycin. It's the only antibiotic that's absorbed. Canaplex is a type of kanamycin. I sent them to Fishman Chemicals, which is down in Florida.
We deal with them a lot.
Canaplex is a medication through a certain company.
It's antibiotics
that we
that gets absorbed through the skin.
But kanamycin is the actual medication that gets absorbed.
Okay.
So he ordered straight kanamycin from Fishman Chemicals, as well as Metroplex. So the Metroplex will treat the lateral line erosion from the outside. The Canaplex will absorb from the inside. I said, if you can get
if that fish is still eating, you could also
she's not for like 2 months.
And it's hard to make an Arapaima force feed.
So I told him he's getting to that point to where when he has her in that sling, getting her out of the tank, force feed her,
at that point,
vent them holes, and then treat the water with the medications. I'm like, the best bet is to, inject the Arapaima with antibiotics. I usually do it.
You need a vet for that
myself.
To get them.
You have to get the medications through a vet. You can't bring the fish in, but if you have a good standing with the vet, they'll give you the medication. You can treat them yourself. I'm like, take her on her back, go about a quarter way down her back. Instead of on the direct top, you go about a quarter way in, lift a scale, pull it out, whatever you need, because you cannot get that hypodermic needle
No,
through
through
the
a scale.
scale. You have to get it into the
The meat,
flesh,
yeah.
into the meat. Put it in right there on her body, inject it, and that's her best chance. Like, if you go in from the underside, you can hit,
Belly,
an
all kinds of
artery, all that
organs,
stuff.
yeah.
And that's the thing that people don't understand. With a fish vet, you have to understand each fish's anatomy.
Right.
And each fish is built a
Just
little
like
bit
the Fly River
different.
turtles, when we took them in, the doctor gave me, I think it was 20 needles. He said these have to stay in the refrigerator. You bring him out every morning. You give him a shot in his left shoulder in the meat.
Yeah.
The next day in his right shoulder in the meat. The next day in his left shoulder. I mean, the doctor knew what he's talking about, and he saved that Fly River turtle.
Well, we are very fortunate to have an exotic animal, vet about 15 minutes away from us. They deal with turtles, monkeys, fish,
About
all
half
that.
hour, but yeah.
But still. But a lot of people around the world don't have that. Like
Right.
If you're plagued with this disease, you're fucked. Like, sorry
You're
to say
what?
it, you're fucked.
Yeah, what? Stop it. It's a family-friendly show.
All right, we got Jim.
Well, nothing but we wish Blake all the luck in the world.
No, I call him every couple of days. I check in, like, we are trying.
Yeah.
We 100% are. Like, I don't want to see that beautiful fish die.
Right.
Because of a mistake. Like, Blake tried his best. There's so many people online that are saying, oh, you don't have the knowledge, you shouldn't have had these fish. But at the end of the day, he got this fish. He built, a very expensive building.
Very
built
expensive.
A tank.
He overbuilt.
Like, he did his best to provide for her, and the one fish that he did this for is now passing away.
Yeah.
Like, that would suck.
Yeah.
So, the people who are being mean, like, I wish you would go back and think about your actions. Like, be a little bit supportive. Like, he's bringing you guys great
He's actually
content
losing a
every
family
day.
member.
Yeah.
In this situation, he's not. I don't know. He's not one of the Florida guys that just buys 100 goldfish and a 300-foot hose to put them through and go over the couch and run. He runs his farm and he loves his animals.
Yeah. I've been there a couple times, and each time I've had fun. And he actually talked me out of buying an otter.
Really?
Yeah. He said they're terrible.
Well, they're fish eaters.
Well,
The main problem.
He's just like, they're great for the first year, and then they turn mean.
Yeah, that's with most fish. We've had pet skunks all of our life. They're great as babies. They're great, but as adults, you never know if they're going to turn mean and be vicious or not. We had Pepe Le Pew was the father. We had Stinker was the mother, and then Stinky was the baby. Pepe Le Pew and Flower was the mother. And she had her own babies, and then we had to have vet come in and descent them and all that stuff. And we kept one of the babies, and we're raising it, and it was great. I had a great young child life with all these different animals, and it was great. But Pepe Le Pew turned mean on us, and he was kept out in the garage, and he's the one that bit me, and the police showed up and had to basically euthanize him to get him to stop biting me. He was latched onto the back of my Achilles tendon, and he would not let go. And I was a little kid. I was screaming, and the cops show up, and they pull out their gun, and I'm like, no, don't shoot. I cared about animals. They had somebody show up from the wards department and injected him, and he died, and then he let go. And we lost the father to but things happen. You never can tell how they are going to turn out as an adult. The mother we kept for a long time. She lived with us forever, and she died of a ripe old age. And so did Stinky. He grew very old. We trimmed his nails. He was a great pet. So the mother and the baby turned out to be great pets until they were old age and died. The father turned mean as he got old. That's just something that happens.
All right, we got Jim Sheasley, $10, says an idea on the sale date.
I was just talking to everybody.
I really want that corner tank you have out there. Jim, just come take it.
Is there a corner tank?
Just come take it.
Is there? I don't see one.
I mean, if Jim Sheasley is probably out there.
I don't know of any corner tank out there. The last corner tank we had was in front of the garage.
Yeah, that's gone.
That
Jim,
one's gone.
If it's here, it's yours.
You come take it, Jim. You've helped us out so much. You come take it. Whatever it is, whatever tank you're thinking of, send me a picture of it, or you know, call me and tell me where it's at, and I'll tell you if it's here.
Bob Taylor, $5 says, "Thank God it's Fishy Friday."
Right?
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah.
Dude, he cracks me up so much.
So what?
So for one, he's been going back and watching every video from
That's
the
what
beginning.
everybody should do.
And he's just been commenting some funny ass stuff, and he'll on Discord. He'll just say some off the wall things, and I'll be like, "Thanks, Bob." He makes me laugh all the time.
That's good. That's good.
All right, we got Phil Collins says, "Sorry for being off
Wait a minute.
topic."
Phil Collins. Let me see this name.
Says, "Sorry for being off topic with that, but Big Rich, would your Camaro beat the box vet?"
See, I can argue this. My Camaro, it's possible to beat the box vet if my car was slammed to the ground, full roll caged, and wrinkle walls in the back, parachute, all that kind of stuff. His car, he took a 63 or a 65 Corvette, and whatever it is, and it's tube, chrome moly tube chassis frame everywhere. It's only like 2,600 pounds. I mean, it's very light. My car is like 3,500 pounds. I have no roll cage. If I was to put wrinkle walls on my car and take it to the track, I will destroy that car. I have way too much horsepower. It will twist that car up terribly.
He has more value in his car as keeping it original,
right?
And selling it.
See,
as
now I can take my
'67 Camaro and get
I can take my very expensive motor out, my very expensive tranny out, my very expensive rear end. I can take all that out and buy a brand new crate motor, big block 454 for about $6,000, and then I can put in a Muncie 4-speed that I have in the back. I can put in a 12-volt posi rear end and sell that car for the same amount of money, and then keep my $35,000 drivetrain and buy a turnkey roller race car, that's nothing but tin bottom, full tube roll cage, wrinkle wall rear end, just wall-to-wall tires in the back, and then go racing and have fun. My car was not built for racing. My car was built for excess, because too much is never enough, and for show-off ability. So I drive that car on dry pavement like it's on ice. I can just get sideways at any point, at any time. Way too much horsepower. And I got them big old tires on there that just spin. And it's fun, because I can break them loose at 55 on the highway just by downshifting and punching it. So every time one of these little kids come up next to me and they're in daddy's, Mustang, I turn and look at them as I downshift secretly without them seeing and punch it. And I'm looking at them as I'm going sideways in front of their car, and I hit third gear out in front of their car, tires just billowing smoke out, on the highway. And then I don't need to show no more. I just did this burnout next to you on the highway. Your car can't do that. And then I go back to 55 miles an hour, and I've never had a bad reaction. People love this. But, like I said, if I take it to the track and try and get any kind of speed out of it, I will destroy that body. So that's my dilemma. Gary Box built his vet for the purpose of going as fast as possible from point A to point B. And he didn't care. So if I was to take my motor and put it in his car, it would be very comparable. If I was to take his motor and put it in my Camaro, it would be exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to do with my car what he did to his car and can handle the power, then yes, I would be right there with Gary Box. He owns the Ohio's fastest street car competition at 181 miles an hour, 7.8 seconds, and a quarter mile. So I mean, he's got a quick vet. That's quick.
That's a fast car.
That's a fast car. But I built my motor at his house with his suggestions. Same time he built his motor. So I had the same parts in my motor as his motor. And, that's a hard question to answer because it was built for two different purposes. I built to show off, he built to go quick, you know. I would like to say that I would be comparable to his vet on the track if I had a clone of his vet, we put them both in there. I'd like to say I'd be right there with him. Some days he'd win, some days I'd win. But problem is, my car's built way different. He'll never look as good as me. You know, he's got that 2-speed power glide, so the only thing he can do is floor it, hold his trans brake on at a light, and then, you know, kick it into gear and take off and leave a 100-foot posi shot. Well, me, I can drive along beside and, you know, kick it down to gear and then get sideways up to, you know, 70 miles an hour and you know, third gear and all that kind of stuff and impress the shit out of people. It's a, you know, it's not the same car. It's not the same build, you know. But it's about the same horsepower, real close.
Raheem says, Josh, every video you see you want to get rid of fish instead of rehoming them. Yes, that's something I'm trying to.
Yeah, you gotta stop saying that.
Because
I don't want this garbage. Come get it. I gotta get rid of it.
Because up here in
That's
Ohio,
terrible.
we're so used to saying get rid of, and I'm like, I gotta get that out of my
Did you
head.
get this one?
It sounds so bad on mine.
It does.
It's rehome. So yes, we are rehoming all of our fish. We are not getting rid of them.
Sebastian says, skunks can be pets. Oh my God, they're the most adorable pets.
They
They're one of
are.
our favorites. Okay, look, skunks do this thing. If they're descented, you know, right after birth, you know, maybe within the first 2 weeks, the doctor shows up and takes out the scent sacks. Now, they have a little foul smell like a ferret, you know, but other than that, you put them in the sunlight and, you know, that smell goes away. The sun actually just takes it away. So we have a little baby. Now the little baby would run up to us and he'd run towards us and he would stomp and he would plant his front paws and his ass end would come up off the ground like doing a handstand. And then, you know, he would turn his butt towards us and lift his tail like he's going to squirt us, you know, and he'd run at us again and stomp the floor. You know, it was so cute. Oh my God, Tracy loved our baby skunks. She played with them immensely. I mean, they were the cutest. But here's the next thing. They imprint on you. Your mom. So if you put the baby skunk down in the grass and walk away too fast, they scream and run to yell to catch up to you. They want to stay by you. We used to take our pet skunks to the car shows, and she'd just be carrying them around all day, and everybody loved on them. Skunks are great pets. Same thing with groundhogs. My mom had a groundhog that it just laid upside down and her you know, crotch or legs, you know, her waist all the whole time she's watching a movie, and she just sit there and pat its belly. That groundhog was mom's best friend, you know. People say, you know, wild animals should be wild animals, blah blah blah, but some are better than others. Like everybody thinks baby raccoons are cute, and they are, but they're terrible pets. They are into everything. You can't train these things, you know. A skunk you can train to go into a kitty litter box. Not a baby raccoon, you know. And then they get mean when they get older. All the time, they're just mean. They just, I don't like raccoons as babies. I've had so many exotic pets. I've had black panthers. I've had baby bears. I've had, you know, wolves. I've had all kinds of, you know, birds and snakes and all kinds of stuff. And my favorite is a pet skunk. And they're just great.
Danimal Cracker, $10 says, I enjoyed the series of pond build vids. Best, I think more build videos would grow the channel. They cost time and money, but may pay for themselves.
Now there's our
Seems
problem.
like the Florida guys are always building, Paul's
Yes.
Lake, etc.
Exactly. The problem is we have limited space left, and all of our space is taken up. So for us to do a build video, it's going to take a few weeks, and we're trying to pump out, you know, a video now. Let's go do a video of the divers diving in the pool. You know, let's do a video of us cleaning this whole mess up and fixing this. Let's do, but to do a build video, like I've wanted to build another tank like that 3000 because I want to build bigger, and you know, we just don't have the place to put it or where we want it. But I would love to rebuild that with Josh, another whole tank, you know.
I do.
Or maybe even
Better and bigger.
build a stand for that tank and lift that tank up off the ground a couple feet, you know.
Yeah.
That would be great. I mean, the space above it is useless. We're not using it for storage no more. It's just useless up there.
Yeah.
If we raised it 2 feet and build a stand to go under it, that'd be great. We can build a stand in sections and slide them in.
Or we say screw it and build a tank 2 feet higher and re-fiberglass it all.
No, that would no. Oh no! You know what that would consist of? Oh no, that would be way too much. Oh no! You're going down to the bones of this operation.
It'd be fun. But no, you know, the guys down in Florida are doing great. They're doing exactly what they can because they can afford it. So, you know, more power to do them. But we're doing the best to our ability up here in Ohio.
Okay, Mark Z says, you know, in drag race, blah blah blah, it has 2,100 horsepower per axle. That's the thing. You know, it ain't the horsepower; it's the amount of horsepower you can put to the street, propelling your car forward.
Yeah.
His car can handle it. Mine cannot. Mine will twist up. I will lift the front end off the ground, and then the car would twist, and we'd have one tire about 2 foot taller than the other tire, and it'd hit the ground and stay that way. It would stay twisted. I do not have a full chrome moly cage. It's not NRA certified. None of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Gary's car is.
You're thinking about Gary's box, huh?
Stop it. Gary's car is certified, is made for that stuff, and it has got all the goodies of that style of racing. I was never into that. I was a show off. I wanted to show off. I had a 1970 Nova with a 454 in it, and it would get sideways in all 4 gears because in my days, if your car can break them loose in all 4 gears, your car is respectable, you know? And then all these guys are like spinning one tire and then hitting second gear and barking it. You go home with that shit. You know, I want to spin both tires and go through all 4 gears so you see a posi patch, a space, a posi patch, a space, 2 more burnouts, a space, and 2 more burnouts. And that lasts for as long as it can go. And with my Camaro, I had it was only a 327, but I had 250 horse of nitrous with it. And it sounded like it had a 4th gear because I'd go through 1st gear sideways, 2nd gear sideways, 3rd gear sideways, and then I would hit the nitrous, and it would sound like I shifted into 4th gear. But I tell you what, it would do 900,000 foot posi marks the whole time. That car was fun to drive, and it was basically a stock 71 Camaro. 79 Camaro. Thank you, Z20.
One
Yes,
I sold.
the one you saw. I gave it to you. And you sold it and bought a Nissan. You SOB. And then later regretted it.
And then I turned the Nissan into a bike, into a house, into an empire now.
I tell you what, you should have never sold that 79 Camaro.
And it got smashed by a tree.
Yeah, and it's gone now. But anyways, you know, that's some fun stuff. That's what I did on the roads, on the streets. I used to hang out at Quigley and run there, you know. I once raced a Volkswagen at Quigley. Now, if you want to run at Quigley, you got to have a car, right? Yeah. I had a Volkswagen, 1963 Volkswagen. But I tuned it up. I did the best I could. I advanced the timing. I ran racing fuel on it. I did everything I could as a young kid to make that car quicker. And the only thing that had me was a driving ability. So it'd be like, I was shacking shit, you know. I was beating people with this Volkswagen at Quigley. It was the funniest shit ever. I was a street racer back then, you know, and I didn't have no money. I had a Volkswagen. Come on, guys. Frank Berg had his 340 GTX down there. That thing was eating up some cars. And another time, some idiot with a 71 Monte Carlo. They're like a street yacht, a long, big car, right? Remember Doc from Street Racers?
Yeah.
His Camaro, or his Monte Carlo. That's a land yacht, a big old boat. This guy hits the tracks, gets airborne. Now, the tracks is, you know, it's right after the tracks is where you start or you end the race, you know what I'm saying? Well, this guy come flying down here, hits the tracks, get airborne. He lands sideways, skids this way, it takes out like 5 front ends to a lot of cars. And then runs over here and hits like 3 front ends, and then he straightens it out. He goes to the end. And then he overshot the road that went up the hill, and there's like this little turnaround in the back. Everyone's chasing him. People jumped in their cars. People are running down there. He gets out of his car and he runs up the hill. He gets caught. People beat the tar out of him. I don't know whatever happened. All I know is a lot of cars got destroyed that night. And every car that's parked on the side of Quigley was cars that were waiting their turn to run. You know, so they were all worked on. They all had some kind of work in them.
All right.
Oh my God, people were mad. This guy, I don't know whatever happened to him. I don't know. But yeah, them were the days. Then we're back in the racing days.
Phil Collins says, would love your opinion. I live in Hinckley, Ohio, and we have a koi pond with pet ducks and have been having issues with, I believe, raccoons or minks killing my koi and ducks.
Oh.
Any suggestions? It's
I don't wanna
probably
say
not a mink.
It's possible though.
It-
They are.
It might be raccoons, but if you have a steady drop off, if it's over 12 inches, it will not be raccoons.
Okay, raccoons. Here's what he's talking about. Raccoons can get down in on your first ledge, and they can stand in the water and they can catch fish. If they're out there swimming, they can't really catch a fish. They're swimming around. They're holding themselves up. They can't really catch a fish. So the best bet for a pond would be start from the edge and then have it go straight down, 4 foot, 5 foot, 8 foot, whatever deep your pond is, and then even the egrets and the what's the other bird?
Storks and cranes.
No, the blue herons.
Herons.
Okay, even the herons, they come in and they stand on your ledge and they can stand there. They can pick off your fish.
It's about 2 feet.
Yeah. So we made the mistake of putting a ledge in. We don't want that ledge. We would rather have it straight down on each side. That way they can't stand. They have to stand way up here above the water's level, 6 inches down, and then the water and the fish are under the plants, So if the bird tries, the fish can just go away. Same thing with this, raccoons and stuff like that. Other than that, there's not much you can do than putting motion sensing water squirters on there, lights that light up when there's motion sense. Sit out there with a gun. I don't know. I'm just saying that there's many different things you can do. We put up fake herons as statues. We put up this what's the name of that owl, snowy owl or whatever they sent us from Wisconsin.
Barn owl?
Whatever the owl is, it's supposed to scare away herons. It did not work because I saw a heron standing next to it the next day. A lot of people have a lot of luck with fishing line tied so that the herons can't walk down, the raccoons can't get through it, and it kind of confuses them as lining their pond. The best bet is to have a tightly pulled net over the whole top, and that way nothing can get to your pond. We have this one people, they have a backyard, and in their backyard is one of the most gorgeous ponds ever, and the rock work around has like layers of rock. Then it has the netting pulled up in it and spiked down it, and with another layer of rock around, and it looks natural. You don't even barely see the netting because it's so taut. It's tight. It's not leaning down and touching the water or nothing, but nothing can get in at the koi. Nothing can pull the koi out. So that's your best defense is a net.
So there's people asking, Josh, what's your dream car? So my dream car overall is to own a
67
a
Camaro
Lamborghini.
Before I go.
But on top of
You're
that,
not going to own it after I go. I'm being buried in that SOB.
so if that happens, I want a 1923 T-Bucket. Just
T-Buckets are nice. They're just beautiful. They're just
a
awesome,
rat
right?
rod. Like,
But
I don't care. Like, all nice paint job, all chrome. It might be like 20, 30 grand at that point.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what.
Just a rat
If there's
rod.
any of our followers out there that has a nice Lamborghini, I've always wanted one. I will trade the Camaro for one. That car's got over 125,000 into it. All chrome, beautiful. It's never not won best of show or best engine.
But if you took the 1967 Camaro, I seen them sell at Mecum Auto Auction for $180,000.
Numbers matching, motor, engine, completely restored to factory original. Mine's completely restored to factory original, except for I don't have the numbers matching motor.
Gotcha.
So that's why I put my wild drivetrain in it, but I can turn it back to factory for very cheap, but I still won't have the numbers matching motor. So we'll never go for that kind of money at Mecum. You know what I'm saying?
So like 150, 120?
If we got 90 grand out of that car, I'd be happy. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't take it.
You wouldn't take it?
I'd say, suck my big fat. That's my dad's car. I'll die in that thing.
That's my casket.
They're gonna bury me in that thing.
That's my casket. That ain't my car.
It's our casket.
Oh, stop it. Unless we die in that car together. Or if you open it up years later and get buried in there with me.
Do you know the hardest thing for me to do?
What?
Is, you know, you left your burial wishes up to me. If you tell me you want buried in that car, and to see you get buried with that car and just
dirt being piled over it, oh, that would hurt so bad, wouldn't it?
It's like a double suck. Like, I lose my dad and his car at the same day.
Oh no,
that fucking sucks. Like, I promise you, honey, in 10 years, it's not going to matter. I'll come get you.
Oh my God. You're horrible.
Just kidding. Commander Nolan says I was born in 69.
I was born in 63. We're pretty close. The car's a 67, though.
Where do you guys want to see Ohio Fish Rescue in 10 years' time? What's the main aim for the future? The future, if we can get
the whole reason for the rescue was to educate and help the public stop buying these fish from the pet stores.
Yeah.
Now, if we was to get the government grant, our main dream was always to build a public aquarium.
Yeah. So, you know, no matter if we get that grant or not, we're still fulfilling our dream of, you know, educating the public, saying, hey, if you want monster fish, this is what you should expect. And we are very happy of what we've accomplished so far. If, you know, we both died today, it'd be like, you know what? We've done a great thing for the community.
Right. I feel I've had purpose. Listen to this. Jens Carlson says, let the real men, Sue Ann and Kathy, drive the car. Let me tell you this. Kathy,
I'm the only man in this planet who's driven
that car other than me. Let me tell you this. I scared Kathy in the OFR van the other day because I was able to get out. I went to Josh's house for my granddaughter's first birthday.
Yeah.
And we get a call from Reaper. I don't know why Reaper, but he says, you better get home. Something's up with Tracy. Now, I have the nurse there. Skylar was at the house. Kathy was at the house. And Jerry was at the house. No, Kathy was with me. So Skylar and Jerry are at the house. Neither one of them called me. I get a call from Reaper. You better get home. So I get Kathy and we leave the place and I take off down the road. And at the end of the road, there's a house that's having a birthday party. So I was able to go, and then I had to slow down, drop out of warp speed before the stop sign because we're passing by a birthday party. And I turned the corner, and I got back up to speed, and I made it, because he's only a mile from my house. I made it home in 7.9 seconds or something. But anyways, Kathy was like, hold on to the door, and she's like, ah. I don't care. I didn't, it's not my job to scare Kathy or not scare Kathy. Someone said Tracy's in peril, get home. And that's what I did. I normally don't drive like that. I drive the speed limit. I always do because I've learned in this lifetime that the cops will get you forever, no matter what you're doing wrong, if you keep doing wrong. If you don't do nothing wrong, they will never get you. So that's how I normally drive. But, I got freaked out with, get home now, something's up with Tracy, you need to get home. I took off. So she got scared in the Ohio Fish Rescue van. I can imagine her in the Camaro where she's being plastered into the seat and she can't raise her arms forward to grab onto nothing. She screams and no one hears it because we done left Mach speed, and the sound of speed's back there. Oh my goodness.
That was a fun cookout drive, let me tell you.
See, now me and his older brother built this car, and his older brother kind of really messed up, and he hasn't been around. But he never got to drive it. He got to start it. He got to do that in the driveway. No one's ever drove it. So while he was gone, Josh got to drive it. And I'm in the passenger seat with the phone. I'm like, how's it feel, Josh? And he goes, we're doing like 35 miles an hour idling down the road. And he just taps the gas and the car goes, whoa, whoa. I'm like, hold still. I'm trying to keep the camera on him. But, man, it knocked me back into the seat because I wasn't, prepared for it, waiting for it. Nothing. I was trying to video, And he did this thing where he's holding on to the steering wheel and he's like, so. The car's too much.
All right, guys.
Then we get home and Tracy was fine. I just had to, Sebastian just said, so Tracy was fine, right? Yeah, I get home and Tracy was fine. Here, Skylar had called Reaper and said that, the nurse keeps leaving this, the machine for her oxygen. We live by that machine can't be going off. If it's going off, we have to be there. Well, the nurse it went off and she's taking care of Tracy. She's just letting the machine run. So Skylar calls Reaper and is like, I don't know why, but the machine keeps going off. And then Reaper kicks it up a notch and tells me, you better get home quick. Something's wrong with Tracy. And now I'm taking that as, oh my God. So that's all it was. The nurse didn't hit the button and stop the machine from, beeping. She was already being taken care of. She was already handling it and this and that. I had to talk with the nurses that we are programmed to come running when this machine is beeping. Please shut it off, take care of Tracy, and don't let it keep beeping. Because we'll come, if I'm in a dead sleep, it'll beep in my room and wake me up and I'll come running out here. Even though you're here. It's just something I'm trained to do,
All right, guys, we got 2 more minutes. Let's find some questions.
Bob Taylor says, Tracy's story. Look back up. What was the name of that video? Disaster Strikes at OFR. Look back up and it'll tell you what happened to Tracy and all that. And
no, I think he's asking for a different Tracy story. How about telling the time that she passed out in the hamper in the upstairs hallway with my dog Flash?
Tracy never drank. She's this little 98-pound girl. Sometimes she was at 101, but mostly 98, 99 to 101. And she never drank. So she was our designated driver every time we'd go out anywhere. She'd drive the boat, she'd drive the car back, blah, blah, blah. Well, I got her drinking one night. So silly. She's just the cutest little thing when she's drinking. She's so funny. She laughs at everything. Well, we go walking upstairs and she's like, whoa, whoa. And she falls backwards and sits in the hamper, the laundry basket. And I'm like, Tracy, are you okay? And I got the camera on her and she looks up. She goes, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, do you know where you're at? You're sitting in the laundry basket. She goes, it's okay. I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, you don't want to get up? She's like, no, I'm good. Too funny. She's just the cutest little drunk. And she had only had 3 of the Mike's Hard lemonades. That's the funniest thing. I'm over drinking vodka and she's drinking Mike's Hard lemonades.
All right, guys. With that story, that's a great point to end tonight's live. If you guys love these live streams, we will see you all next week on another Stay Fishy live stream.
Yes, of course.
We will definitely try to start getting these,
Did we decide, are we going to put them back on the main channel?
If we can go ahead and get
1 week of normal, 1 week with a guest.
Yes.
And they're going back on the main channel. So you don't care about this channel. It makes $19 a month.
Let's do it.
I'll do whatever I want with this channel and just put things and not care if it makes money.
Sure, but the live streams on the main channel have to be organized and proper. Okay.
Like like mine haven't been for all these years?
No, we have not. I'm giving you a high five.
No, no.
Sorry.
You just told me I am not organized nor proper.
Sorry, someone has to be the bearer of bad news. All right, guys, we will catch you all
Love
next
you guys.
week
Thanks for tuning in
on
with
yet
us. I
another
appreciate
Stay
it.
Fishy Friday. We love you all, and as always,
Stay fishy, my friends. Now the OBS, you gotta stop.